Hey Gemini, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through today's reading. This is our daily reading for June 18th, 2025. Let's see what's going on with Gemini. The heart of your reading, we have the star in reverse. You're losing sight of a dream that you once held very close to your heart. This could be just a natural evolution of time. It's becoming less important to you because you have other dreams, goals, visions in mind for yourself. Or it could be that you're feeling disillusioned, discouraged, because you're not seeing the dream manifest in the time frame that you want it to. What's the challenge here? Judgment, Six of Cups in reverse. Six of Cups in reverse is taking off the rose-tinted glasses. It's ending the period of naivete and seeing what's truly in front of you. So that's a very evolved energy to bring to a judgment sort of situation. Because in the judgment energy, you're being given an opportunity to revise and look back on things that you've put on the back burner or walked away from, something about past energies, and determining what deserves to be revived. It's almost like you're being given this allotted energy to breathe new life back into things that are dead, metaphorically speaking, but you are carrying with you while you make those determinations this awareness that it's not all it's cracked up to be. Like you don't have an unrealistic hope or how do I want to put this? Do you know how many times you can have these sort of chunks of your past where you feel like you project fantasy onto it? And, oh, if I could just reconnect with that old activity or this old hobby or this old romantic partner, things would be different, things would be magical. There's this untapped potential that, and you're kind of playing out a fantasy in your mind when you think about it. The challenge for you here is bringing that sort of realistic view, chopping off the fantasy and seeing things truly for what they are, what the real potential is in the situation, and determining what to revive or what not to revive with a much clearer head. Like, forget about the fantasy. And actually, that could be part of what we're getting at with the star in reverse, is less about letting go of a dream, but realizing the element of fantasy that was involved. Like, oh, they're never gonna be the partner that I want them to be. They're not a Cinderella, they're not Prince Charming. They're a real person with quirks and faults and limitations and wants and needs and toxic behaviors and unhealed traumas. And patterns of behavior that have proven things to me in the past that I can take as real, that I don't have to blanket with a fantasy of different behavior. Things will be different this time. Maybe they won't. Maybe you're not going to allow it to be revived, to give it the chance to see if it'll be different this time. Because you're not buying into the fantasy anymore. Your focus, we have the Hermit, the Eight of Wands, and the Queen of Cups in reverse. You're stealing yourself away for peace of mind, for a better perspective, to keep your head clear about this. I think you might, if you get too close to a situation that's connected to your past, as you have this potential of breathing new life into it, you don't want to put the rose-tinted glasses on and buy back into the fantasy. That's this keeping your distance, but with the intention of a perspective shift. I want to keep my eye on the big picture here. I don't want to get too close to the situation and get sucked into the dream, the fantasy. Because if you do, there's this momentum that takes place, and you sort of lose yourself, or you lose perspective, where you get kind of very wrapped up in putting someone else first. This Queen of Cups in reverse is like an energy that I'm getting it as like this, an energetic black hole. Someone who needs all of the love, all of the compassion, all of the care and caring for themselves. If you get near them, it doesn't matter how much self-care you try to give yourself, that energy kind of always gets sucked away to someone else, by someone else. Show me the recent past. What led into this for Gemini? We have Strength, Knight of Wands in reverse, King of Cups in reverse. You've been through it. Okay, I am getting that this is a potential for a past relationship to be revived. At least that's the way I'm going to interpret the energies. If you get an interpretation, you can apply it to a different situation, please do. Because this is a general reading for a large group of people. It's not going to apply the same way for everyone. But I'm getting that you had to really toughen up. There's this core energy that I'm getting that's like, it's like a clenching sort of energetic, protecting your own core energy when faced with this. It's like, I keep thinking of different ways to say it because I don't like using the same word all the time, but this is fuckboy energy. The Knight of Wands in reverse is like, here for a good time, not for a long time, and centered around taking action to center their own pleasure. They just want quick pleasure. They're not able to consider the long term. But you pair it with this King of Cups in reverse, and that's a dangerous combination because that's someone who knows how to behave emotionally the way that is going to be well received, but it's not genuine. It's a false front. Like, they know how to talk the talk, but they don't understand the feelings. So there's nothing beneath it. They can fake it, though. I have the sense that why is this even coming back up for you? Because with Strength here, in your past, paired with this energy, you got stronger from having to interact with this sort of energy. Feels like a very important lesson was learned. So the challenge now is not buying into the fantasy. From your spirit team's perspective, there's some good that can come from this, is to not get fooled again. The Fool in reverse is very, I see that there's definitely not a path here. I'm not going to take the leap because I'll fall and crash. So, no thank you. There's no benefit to me having faith in this situation because it doesn't deserve that. Show me what comes up next for Gemini. We have the Knight of Swords and the Empress in reverse. So there's someone taking swift action based on being unappreciated or not being allowed to fully express the fullness of who they are in that environment. If you take the Empress in all her glory and you put her in an environment of Tower moments and Devil energy and Knight of Wands in reverse, you surround her with that, and she's co-creating an environment with charlatans, losers, thieves, toxic energy. So she can't, by necessity, fully express the greatness of her being when she is in that environment. Environment matters. So I see this stunted Empress taking her sword of truth, her awareness, and fighting for it, taking swift action, saying, I'm going to get myself out of this situation, out of this environment, because the more I'm diminished, I'm going to fall into my Queen energy, then into my Knight energy, then into my Page energy, and then into my Devil energy. It's like she's being diminished by not being able to fully express who she is. So I have the feeling that you're going to start noticing this about yourself and about the environment in which you find yourself. Something's going to ring really true for you, and you're going to metaphorically hold fast to that truth, your sword of truth, so to speak, to enable you to take swift action armed with that truth. Something's going to affect the situation that you don't see coming, and there's this Ace of Wands energy paired with a sense of loss with the Five of Cups. This is either a really inappropriate advance, like someone seeing you crying and despondent and in despair, and thinking, oh, that's the right time to ask them if they want to sleep with me. That's the right time to say, I find you so attractive. Like, you find my despair attractive. That could be like an aha moment for you. That, I mean, you might be dealing with someone with narcissistic personality disorder, or at least expressing narcissistic traits, because that's someone who takes pleasure in other people's pain. So I would really caution if that's the case. It could be that the situation is flipped and you are taken by surprise by someone else feeling a sense of loss. You get a rare glimpse into the depth of their character, the fact that they do grieve, they do feel things deeply. In this example, it's going to be something painful that they're experiencing, but it's genuine. So you encountering them in a moment of them feeling genuine, deep emotion, something that's difficult for them, and them letting you near them close enough to see that, could spark an idea for you, could inspire you in some way. I don't think sexually, but I do think it could, like, really give you this a prompt, an urge, an inspiration to move in a new direction. Now, whether that's toward the person or away from them is up to you. I don't know how that urge might play out if that's the way that the energies manifest for you. Your hopes and fears, we have the Eight of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Wands. So if you're dealing with someone who has been in and out of your life in the past, and this is an opportunity to let them back in and kind of go around that situation again, there's this return energy, which you're hopeful for and afraid of. There's a decision to be made, but then there's also this sort of, I lead with my most raw desire. This is someone who isn't as in control of their desires as someone who's more mature. This is a more like, they don't see what's wrong with going after the shiny new object. In fact, they find it very beautiful about themselves. They're like, well, I'm pure-hearted. I follow where my gut is telling me to go at every moment. And sometimes that's away from you, I think. So whether or not that's the best choice for you to make to connect with that energy, is that something that you want? The choice seems clear to me, but I know because it's coming up for you today that it's not as clear for you. The way this all ends up, the way these energies coalesce, at some point today, later on today, you're going to receive a revelation. Some sort of backtracking on territory that the person used to claim very strongly. So if that's you, if you're the person ceding territory, metaphorically speaking, this could be like you revealing to your person, like, all right, I know I said that this was a must-have for me, but it's not anymore. This, whatever thing that used to be very important, is not so important now. If that's someone else, then they're going to be sort of backing away from, like, I know I said that I'd defend this, but it's not actually as important to me as it used to be. So that could be manifesting in a way of like shared territory. If it's in a literal sense, it could be, where did you go? You were supposed to be pet sitting for me. And they took off and left and like didn't guard the territory that they committed to doing. So if it could, yeah, it could be in a more literal sense. Give me one more. I'm pulling clarifiers on that. We have the Two of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups in reverse. Yeah, someone's dithering. Someone's like, well, I mean, I could defend this territory or I could not. They want to have it both ways. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to, but it's not bringing happiness. It's like, this is all very murky energy. Someone who doesn't really know what happiness and joy is. So their idea of emotional fulfillment is very shallow. What advice do we have for Gemini? Four of Wands, Eight of Pentacles in reverse. If it's not working, if someone's not putting in regular effort on a regular basis, then that's what you should base your actions on. For some of you, this is saying that there's some sort of event that's meant to take place where someone is going to prove that they're not putting in the effort. This could be a date that you show up for the date and they didn't make any reservations, didn't make any plans. If that's the case, the advice is to see it for what it is, see the truth of it, and not the fantasy. Gemini, I'm going to leave it there. I hope this helped. Have a good day. Good luck. I'll see you back tomorrow.